Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another KPC Live, a weekend. It is October 26th, nearing November already. The weather is getting pretty chilly. As you can see, I already have a jacket on, even inside, indoors. Hope everyone is healthy and warm. I just got out of a cold. You can see a lot of meds I have over here. So my voice might be a little nasally, but anyways, hello everybody. Let me know where y'all are watching from. And today we are going to be covering some very shocking news and also some interesting news considering the climate of K-pop right now in regards to New Jeans and Hype all that happening. So yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting ride today. As you can see in the title, the most shocking news is that more than 3,000 Koreans have been potentially kidnapped, abducted, and tortured in Cambodia. We're going to go deep into that, why it happened, where it happened, what is happening right now. Yeah, and why specifically Koreans? So yeah, that is some big news. Also, we'll be covering K hats, aka cuts, disappearing. Their existence might be erased from the globe, which is very, very sad. So here I am on Korean Pizza Club to uh, try and preserve and maintain and continue on the legacy of Korean hats. So that's going to be a very interesting one as well. So yeah, that's going to be the order of it. Hee-jin is going to be last, so if you're here for that, you'll have to wait for the very last, as I've got some advice in the chat saying that you better cover it last because there will be a lot of fan wars, unnecessary fan wars in the chat. All right, so yeah, let's see where all y'all are watching from. So I see some folks from LA, 8:30, Rochas, Clint's from Quebec, hello, and Florida, Los Angeles, Seattle, Francesca in UK, cozy tucked up in bed, in Ohio, Tennessee. And Minji says, good advice. True, true, true. All right. I've adjusted the advertisements as low frequency during the live streams. So, more of a reason for you guys to tune in. This is going to be the regular time for the live streams. Not October, but like every Sunday, 12 p.m. KST. So, that's probably going to be a Saturday, 8 p.m. afternoon in the States, depending on which region you are in. But it's going to be around that time, probably West Coast. Yeah. Anyways, all right, North Carolina, New York, and speaking of New York, if you see in the chat over here, join the free after show only for live viewers that are currently watching at the moment. If you sign up as a free member on Patreon, you'll have access to the after show for KPC Live, where I'll be talking about my New York City trip and experience. What I've been doing there, how is it like, my impressions, funny stories, all that kind of stuff. Plus, a little chat with you guys, personal talk, all that on Patreon. No need to pay or anything as long as you're a free member and join and hop over right after the stream. This stream ends. So go on and sign up here already. Patreon.com/Korean Pizza Club. All right. So let's get right at it. Welcome back, David. Welcome, Ryan. All right, so let's go. In LA, go Dodgers. Yes, I know that the Dodgers are against the Blue Jays. Oh, they got pretty destroyed the other day, but hopefully they're doing well now. Okay, so let's go on into today's show. The shocking news in regards to Cambodia. So what is happening? What the heck is David talking about? 3,000 Korean people being kidnapped in 2025? You'll be surprised. Okay, so as you can see over here, that's the Cambodian flag. I mean, no offense. This is legit a photo I just got from Korean news. A lot of photos like this are being publicized recently because of the news. So it's a shocking story. And for those outside of Korea, you might be new to this, but it's a major crisis involving kidnappings, torture, and international crime rings. So hundreds and hundreds of young Koreans have been lured to Cambodia with high paying job promises. You can see all of them lined up over here. That's only 64 of them, but only to be trapped in scam compounds. These are modern slaver camps, slave labor camps run by criminal organizations. And this isn't isolated, it's an epidemic claiming lives, including a 22-year-old student tortured to death recently. That was actually like the whole trigger of this chain of not events. The events were happening all the time, but it actually got like mainstream media and like published by the journalists and the broadcast because of that student's death. So let's dive into it. Okay, so first you got to know what these are. So these are scam compounds. They aren't like your typical scams, but these are actually massive operations, aka scam compounds or scam mills, and mostly I hate to say, but these are Chinese syndicates, and they're often tied to Northeast Asian groups, having made Cambodia a fraud hub. So, to be fair to our fellow Cambodian viewers out there, if there are any, the country and the people are technically not at fault. Cambodia is just being the ground for these kind of crimes. So, later we'll discuss whether Cambodia has any accountability at all or not. But it has been revealed that Chinese syndicates are behind this behavior. So if you look at these compounds, they are like fortified prisons. They're walled with armed guards, they have CCTVs, torture rooms, and victims have to work 12 to 20 hours daily on schemes like pig butchering. So, what we mean by pig butchering is romance scams, mostly tricking people into fake investing or crypto investments, and frauds that include like voice phishing, sextortion, bogus apps, all these kind of stuffs. And what pig butchering means to like make the person gain weight in terms of like, give them trust, give them some money, give them some stuff, and like, make them fatter and fatter and fatter. And then when the time comes, butcher them up in terms of scams. So it's a very, I would say, a very scary process. And supposedly, Cambodia has at least 53 of these large compounds due to Amnesty International. So yeah, they're basically scammers, and it is insane, dreadful for sure. Globally, they've already been known to have stolen billions of dollars, billions of won probably, billions of dollars. I don't know, but yeah, I got this from a report, so probably in one. Anyways, it's a massive amount of money. And for Koreans, the crisis escalated in 2023 and exploded just recently in 2025 October, and criminals are using apps like Telegram, job apps, social media, and luring people in for these easy money ads like marketing roles paying like $3,500 weekly, which is what the advertisements are saying, which is far above Korea's average pay, right? And upon arrival, apparently passports, phones are all seized, victims are drugged, they're beaten, and they're forced to doing these scam operations. And often, and mostly, Koreans are targeted. Let's get into that a little later. But yeah, according to the news, yeah, there are electric shocks, there are beatings, and there are extortion from families. And there are even rumors, including organ harvesting. It's basically human trafficking. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some people that are resisting within the compounds might end up in that fate, which is terrifying, right? Are there both men and women there? Yes, there are both men and women there. hmm But weirdly enough, from the pictures by the press, I've mostly seen male. But yeah, if it's in that number, then there's definitely female and male as well too. But anyways, like these are some pictures of it. Like you can see all the fences, the chained walls, and like these compounds are just like there in broad daylight, operating, and guards are guarding like the fences and the gates so nobody can escape once they're in. And this is like the picture of the pig butchering scam scene over here. Like as you can see, people are locked into their phones and apps, getting, I guess, fed with love and attention and romance and maybe small amounts of money and blah 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 until the time comes, until they're fat, right? Just like pigs. So okay, and yeah, like they are going for the vulnerable 20s and 30s of Korea, and this is the picture of the Telegram app, which is trying to get applications, saying false advertisements, saying like, yo, you'll get 3,000, 3,500, $4,000 per week by doing this easy marketing thing. And you can see that it's widespread. This is literally a screen cap of a news reporter going on one of these Telegram groups, and they just could easily find these kind of advertisements out there, and people just join them. And these people are desperate, so they take the leap, they take the chance, and they end up in these very, very bad situations. So you can see over here, if I translate a little bit of this message here, it says we're looking for workers, employees, and yeah, we operate in safe areas in Thailand or China. Um, we give you weekly incentives and weekly pay. We give you Korean food, accommodation. You can take rest on Friday to Saturday, Sunday. Um, you have a villa to yourself. Are couples are invited. So yeah, definitely females as well too. And you can come quietly. There's privacy, and you can just work hard, diligently, and you'll get that pay. Right? So it says Cambodia, Phnom Penh, work, and all that. So it's pretty horrible. It's pretty horrible. So where is this happening right now? Um, Currently, if you look at the map, I'm sorry it's a Korean map, but it had a great visual, so just get the gist of it. This in the middle is Cambodia over here, and if you go over here, that is Thailand, and this over here is Vietnam. So it's mostly the Southeast Asian countries area, and the key hotspots are the red spots over here. This is Phnom Penh, and this is a place called Bavet. And there's also this whole area, which is in red. Areas like Bokor Mountain and Kampot, Sihanoukville, if that's how you pronounce it. That's a scam epicenter at the moment. The Bokor Mountain place is apparently very hard to escape because it's remote, and they are both, they're located in the adjacent, the border lines of Thailand and Vietnam, and Cambodia being in the middle. So the estimates right now are that up to 200,000 people from 60 plus countries, not only Korea, are trapped in Southeast Asia, somewhere around there, with around 1,000 to 2,000 Koreans, some victims, and you got to know, others coerced perpetrators in these areas. And this is industrial scale human trafficking. So, some people might be from like China or Thailand or Vietnam. I'm sure there might be a lot of people from all over the world trapped in these compounds to this day, working their asses off, calling people, luring them into scams. So you got to be careful, guys, yeah, about these scammers. So, reports call these people digital slaves, and these places you're seeing over here, this is a digital slave prison being busted, and they're being built by Chinese capital with corrupt Cambodian officials, apparently. So, we can't say that Cambodia is totally not accountable. There are people partaking into this and seeing a blind eye over it. So definitely that's how it's happening. And in Phnom Penh's Mango Compound, there's a place called the Mango Compound. An ex-guard described thousands of rooms and 600 guards blocking escapes. This is crazy. 600 guards blocking these people from fleeing. And God knows what happens to people who try to. Yeah, we've already mentioned that there's already like electric shocks and torturing and all that. So, Korean, Chinese, Vietnamese people were mostly held for voice phishing and romance frauds. And the entry requires ID checks, and the sites were isolated. So now a lot of these have been unraveled. So a lot of journalists from Korean media and a lot of the police force have been busting them, have been going and like filming how they look like. And this is just one amongst a few. So if you look at this place, I'm not like it has so many gates and guards, and like it's a total compound that is just surrounded by the concrete walls, and you see like these little wards just to like stuff in people and make them work for crazy hours and for crime. It looks like a bot farm, right? Yeah. It gives a Squid Game feel. Sounds terrifying. Definitely, because people are lured in with these high paying advertisements, and they're like, oh, yeah, let's make it or break it. Let's, yeah, try it out. I got nothing to lose, anyways. So yeah, they just sit and use social media all day. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we don't know the actual operations, but basically they're sitting there and they're chatting to people online in disguise, maybe as like a romantic partner or like some, I don't know, like investor or uh, people trying to steal your money, basically. Yeah. There's a Netflix movie called No More Bets describing exactly what David is covering. Oh, really? That's intriguing. I might have to check that out. I mean, yeah, we're all using social media, but this is crazy. Yeah, like everybody talking about human trafficking and child labor and slavery nowadays. People think it's wild, but it's an actually real thing that's going on. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, so going on, this place is apparently in where is it? Yeah, this place apparently is a picture of Sihanoukville's Chinatown, and this compound is called the Twin Towers. It has high walls with CCTVs and glass shards everywhere. Guards search vehicles. Ops move by trucks to evade raids, and Chinese influence turned this Sihanoukville into a Chinese city with casinos and high rises, worsening poverty and enabling these factory prisons. So probably these casinos, people go broke, and people are like, "Oh, I want to get some cash," and some people, approach to them and say like, "Oh, if you want to earn some quick money and go back to the casino, you can, work here, easy jobs, social media, fidgeting with your phone, stuff like that." So yeah, this is one of the famous compounds, and yeah, like look at these. These are unsold Phnom Penh high-rise apartments that have iron bars and blocked voids, becoming mini compounds. So these are just right in the city apparently, and raids find empty sites, but these ops relocate from place to place, showing a very borderless trafficking system. They're very organized, and probably when the police is on their way, they probably relocate the people and nobody's there, right? So it is Really, really crazy. This news has been hitting Korea for the past 2 weeks very hard. It's now at a presidential level. The whole, foreign ministry affairs, the whole government, the whole administration is prioritizing this at the moment. You've probably seen some news in regards to the Cambodian kidnapping here and there somewhere on the Korean Herald or wherever. But yeah, now let's get into why Koreans are specifically getting targeted. So apparently during these post-COVID eras, the Chinese syndicates fled Beijing's crackdowns. So there was a massive crackdown within China during COVID era, and then these syndicates moved to Southeast Asia. And why Cambodia? Because apparently Cambodia has very lax rules, and there's a lot of corruption, and there has been Chinese ties between the officials and maybe corrupt officials in Cambodia, and that made the environment ideal. So the compounds link to elites operating freely. And there have been reports about a certain group in Cambodia, which is a very influential and up and rising rich group, which I will not name because probably they might. It's all over the internet already, but I'm just being careful. There has even been an ex K-pop idol that has been affiliated with one of these groups. Yeah, so you do your research, you'll know who and which group. But yeah, I'm just telling you, the CEO, the owner of this group, has been spotted in diplomatic meetings between like the two countries, like high officials related. So someone is definitely backing them up. And yeah, going back, I was telling you about why Koreans, right? So in Korea, the high youth unemployment rate is driving the 20 to 30-year-olds to desperate measures amid rising costs. Scammers exploit these Koreans with ads on Kakao Talk or job sites, and some recruiters are Korean themselves, and they are selling the victims for 5,000 to 10K USD. And if you look at this chart over here, this is the unemployment rate in Korea from 15 to 29. I don't know why they start from 15, but probably that's like the legal age you can start working with the guardians, what do you call it? Permission. So over 50% in this age is either not working or unemployed by choice, or they're working very hard to get one, but they're not able to get into a job, right? So it's getting higher and higher. So yeah, if you look recently, Myanmar and Laos are becoming hubs as well, but Cambodia apparently has very easy visas and border patrol, and scams target these affluent nations like Korea. And a UN report calls it an Indo-Pacific security threat, straining relations. And some Koreans seek illegal work and they end up getting trapped because it's illegal, right? And others are kidnapped, and the greed, the desperation, and the crime create this storm and mix of crime ring and abduction and everything. So they end up there and never returning. So these Chinese capitals built more than allegedly 100 plus compounds only in Phnom Penh in skyscrapers, and yeah, like they're widening the inequality, and the empty buildings are hiding these scams while the locals are facing high rents. So let me go back and say, like, the Chinese capitals are building all these like high-rise buildings. They're not all scam compounds, but many of them, the empty rooms which the locals cannot which cannot accommodate themselves, are being used in these compounds, these crime compounds, right? So now, as the update of October 2025, I told you this. Now the National Assembly and everyone is just now, like, this is high attention level in Korea. Apparently, like, this is only just an official report. You got to know, like, these unofficial and illegal reports like these spottings or like these missings aren't really just aren't really taken into account to for these official reports. So, according to the statistics of the Korean government, there were 17 abductions in 2023, people missing, 220 in 2024, and it grows up to 330 by August 2025. That's the official count right now. At least 79 missing, and 100 unresolved embassy cases. And in August, 22-year-old university student Park, which I talked about in the introduction, was lured to Bacoor Mountain and tortured for refusing to scam, and then he was found dead in a truck. And the cause of death upon autopsy was torturing for 7 days. And 3 Chinese suspects were charged, and this sparked national outrage. Of course, you can imagine. And in October, 3 more Korean bodies were found in Cambodian temples linked to scam gangs, highlighting the severity of the crisis. So, yeah, it's a real thing. And for 50 plus days, the body of this poor 22-year-old university student was not able to return to Korea to his parents. So this was a massive, massive outrage nationally. And now the government is cracking down on it, doubling down on it, and more and more and more missing cases are arising. There have been so many complaints by parents saying that they've contacted the police, they've contacted the Ministry of Foreign Affairs before, they've used channels like Kakao Talk consultations and report channels, but it was ineffective. They just said they couldn't do anything. The report records were not archived, and it goes on. So, like, yeah, people have been publicizing this, and the government now can't just ignore it, right? If they found 3 bodies, just think of the number of bodies they never find. Exactly. Yeah. There are no jobs. Businesses are not hiring because of the economy. People don't have money to purchase with. More worldwide. Yes, it is a worldwide problem. And it's like, it's even these scammers and scam rings approach affluent countries like Korea in this region, or maybe even Japan, because the living cost here is more expensive, and these people want to get high paying jobs in order to sustain themselves. So that's why they get lured into these kind of things, right? Yeah, in the US, it is sending our manufacturing overseas that has come back to bite us in the. Oh, okay. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's insane. Why no jobs for young adults? That's a complex reason. That's a whole different story for another day, for another video. But the job market is just basically not so good worldwide, globally, as Aldiva said. So, anyways, yeah, upon investigation, witnesses have described electric torture. They've already confiscated some of the tools these people have been using, and you can see even guns over here, definitely, and drugs. They've been forcing drugs with the people. They've been beating them. Some are being sold to Myanmar or Vietnam. And in October, these 3 bodies were found in the temples, and people were arrested that were linked to gangs. So on October 17th, there was some process, but these 64 Koreans were, I guess, rescued from a raid, but most were arrested for scam involvement, blurring the lines. So this infuriated the public as well too. So we know that there are clear victims that are captured in these compounds, but the people that were, I guess, rescued and brought back home were people that were working with the gangs. So we don't know. So a lot of lawyers and officials say that it's very hard to say whether these people started out as criminals on the criminal side, whether they were abducted first and they were victims that turned into criminals. But yeah, like a lot of people were like, most of these people have big tattoos and they look very gangster like, and people were like, why are you rescuing the people that shouldn't be rescued and ignoring the people that are still stuck in the compounds? So a lot of politicians were actually saying and mentioning the possibility of military operations on Cambodian ground, making actual raids, but that has not been an option from the current president. Instead, we've done like cooperation with the local Cambodian police, probably Interpol and all that, and there have been localized raids that have been to some extent successful, if you like to say. Like, I guess some people were saying they are human beings after all, so let's judge them later by the law, but like at least we've rescued them. Some people are like, why do we even waste our resources rescuing these scumbags that are helping these rings traffic our own people? And yeah, on October 23rd, 57 Koreans and 29 Chinese were arrested in Phnom Penh for fraud, and the 126 computers and 30 phones were confiscated. And this crisis is worsening with the relocations, and the media exposed the abandoned compounds, but experts say it's like, moving and shifting here and there. So it's very hard to actually like pinpoint and target the active ones at the moment. And about 3,000 Koreans fail to return annually and go are suggested to be missing, and there is more involvement year by year, and Korean expats are suffering as well too, because Cambodia is being shed in such a negative light by the local Korean press that so many travel groups that were originally planning trips to go to Cambodia have canceled. They are shuddering in fear. Nobody is risking their life to go to Cambodia anymore. So the local restaurant sales owned by Korean locals in Cambodia have gone down apparently 50%. Investments in big, not these kind of compounds like, but factories or industry compounds have all halted, and there has been a very anti-Cambodian sentiment rising even within Korea, which is wrongly targeted. But yeah, we I mean, it's a knee-jerk reaction that is bound to happen if you're being exposed to this news every single day and getting updates about like how many people have been kidnapped, that are missing, that there was a raid, and like you see these people getting arrested slash rescued. So yeah, what's going on now is that the president, it's getting intense. President Lee ordered all out efforts post Park's death, and he called these transnational crimes with scams, drugs, and gambling very destructive. In October 21st, 5 days ago, cabinet meeting was held. He noted these organized voice phishing targeting citizens, demanding stronger measures. And on October 23rd, he chaired a conference instructing agencies to deter groups from approaching Korea, showing that he actually said this: if you touch Koreans, we will lead you into ruins. We will obliterate you if you touch Koreans from this point on. So he's going very strong on them. I don't know what destroy you means. Maybe that means military intervention. A lot of people on the internet have been saying stuff like imagine if this was the US. They would have already sent like their Black Ops or Navy SEAL or whatever, bombed the place with drones, rescued all their citizens, and did like a massive, massive military operation already. Like imagine if there were 3,000 US citizens being held captive in these slave farms in Southeast Asia. Yeah. So, anyways, now the NIS, Foreign Ministry, Police, Justice Department, everyone is involved, and they've even created a special task force for the Special Response Headquarters. And also, right now, the president is on point with meeting the prime minister of Cambodia for these scams. The upcoming APEC meeting and ASEAN plus three. These There will be efforts in meeting like country leaders from Japan, China, and they're going to plan partnerships, and they're going to try to make a joint effort to end these kind of organized crimes within all over Southeast Asia and maybe even China. So yeah, about the task force that has launched, there has been high-level delegations. This is the Vice Minister Kim Jin-a visiting Cambodia for talks, and October 14th, President Lee directed resource mobilization for victim protection and rapid rescue missions, and they ordered monitoring and deleting of these scam ads on platforms like KakaoTalk and Telegram, and they've strengthened travel restrictions. So yeah, you can see like the Cambodian officials and the Korean officials working together and cooperating, right? They are still people that rescued animals and orphans. I don't know what you're talking about. Trump would have done so much damage by now. Yes, the US would have sent in special forces for sure. Yeah, they would have probably bombed these places, maybe even, bombed like like drug facilities or whatever, and taught them a lesson. But yeah, so back again at the map, Korea issued code black bans on these areas like Bokor and Poipet and Bavet over here. And on October 16th, there's a level 4 ban for these areas, and level 3 for areas in Sihanoukville, 2.5 for all these other places surrounding Phnom Penh, uh, which is the capital of Cambodia. And if you are traveling these places, there's even a fine up to 10 million won if you travel these places, or a 1 year prison sentence even. So there are always people that ignore these kind of travel bans, and even as a Christian myself, I'm embarrassed by these missionary groups that often don't abide by the law, and they're always like, oh, we need to rescue these people on individual uh operations, and they go for like aid or whatever. But yeah, I don't think that's a very wise thing to do. Like at the end, a lot of people end up getting kidnapped themselves, and these crime rings blackmail our government. So, like, if there is a travel ban, if there's a level 4 travel ban, you should definitely abide by that, right? So, there have been airport screenings, there have been halted departures, there have been arrested recruiters, and one arrested recruiter has gotten over 10 years of prison sentence. There has been UN cooperation on the trafficking issue, so it is escalating. It is leveling up into a global thing right now. So if you look over here, yes, I think this is a picture of the local police or some kind of special force raiding one of these scenes. And yeah, right now, I guess Korea is running these warning campaigns. In Korea, the public fear and anger is very, very fierce. Social media is flooded with hashtags like Cambodia scam, beware of it. Politicians are demanding action, and some are just like exaggerating about like full scale invades and like military operations. And right now, these poor citizens, Korean citizens that are residing in Cambodia that have local businesses, they're having emergency meetings because the economy is being hit so much from their usual customers, which are travelers that are coming to Cambodia from Korea. Because of the travel ban, they can't make a living, right now. So the government is working to compensate them as well. On top of that, that there are a lot of international marriages, arranged marriages, actually, uh, especially in the region of Southeast Asia. A lot of young wives willingly, I guess, enlist under these matchmaking companies and make these arranged marriages with lonely Korean guys, mostly in their middle ages or late 30s, in like lesser urban areas, like in rural areas that are mostly like farmers, people who don't really have an opportunity to meet local Korean women over here, or have missed their opportunity, or do not have like the economic means. A lot of people select these matchmaking companies, these arranged marriage companies that mediate Southeast Asian women that are willing to go to a better environment, mostly in Korea, uh, despite meeting these people. I mean, some of them might have true love, but there are a lot of uh, fleeing cases. The percentage is quite high, so I would say it's pretty sad. But anyways, yeah, currently, according to the arranged marriage companies, the Cambodian Korean marriages have almost halted, and it's in a massive decline due to fears between the two countries. So that is another tragic angle of this. Anyways, that's the story. This is pretty crazy. Yeah, I should have covered this a while ago, but I was just following the whole story until it got updated into like a more thorough manner. And now I guess the government has taken action, and there have been some actions made, some arrests, some rescued. There have been more talks and discussions about future operations. So we'll have to see whether these potential 3,000 beings are rescued. So the unofficial count is 3,000. And yeah, hopefully there will be, at least two people per 3,000 people uh, that have gone missing, that are waiting for these people to return from who knows where, right? Cambodia or wherever in the world. So yeah, these people are all very desperate, and um, they are just reaching out and screaming to the government for help. So hopefully our government is competent. So far, I don't know what the evaluation would be, but some people are saying, like, the president is acting swiftly and doing whatever he can. But yeah, if you plan to travel in this area, I mean, I hate to be fear mongering, but it is what it is. Like, it is an ongoing thing that's happening. There are records of people actually getting abducted and being sold into these uh, crime compounds. So be careful. I would that's always why, like, you always have to check on the internet or via the locals whether you're safe in an area where you're traveling, like country wise or accommodation wise, region wise. Always check if you are safe, especially if you're a female. Like males too. Like, what can you do in these human trafficking situations? Like, if three Chinese men come up to you and like just abduct you in a van, like, you can't do shit, right? So yeah, always be careful, always be on the watch out. Be prepared when you're traveling to other countries. Always have the embassy or help on the hotline. That's the best we can do on an individual level, but this is very, very scary, and it's shocking that it's happening in 2025, right? And probably under the surface level, under the spotlight, it's even worse. So, yeah, who knows what is actually happening? Like, if the victims and the witnesses are witnessing about electrocution, beating up, human trafficking, selling organs and stuff, like, God knows what is actually happening behind the scenes. Yeah, it is hard to even fathom. May God send guardian angels to protect them. Yes. Stay safe, David and everyone. Yeah, this actually gave me like a big wake up call in terms of traveling cuz like I mean, I've been traveling to relatively safe places, first world countries, uh and whatnot, but like looking at the news and seeing this kind of stuff happen, you can never really rest assured. You can never be like 100% assured that you are safe in a foreign land, in a foreign country, especially if you're traveling alone. You don't know what will happen to you. So I kind of reflected on myself, saying that maybe I was a little bit too reckless in the past, just going out there and like saying I'll be fine, I'll go here and there without doing background checks or doing the due diligence. So yeah, I kind of reflected on myself, and I'll be a little bit more wary on my surroundings or the country I'm traveling in the future. hmm Why do most news outlets say 300 instead of the higher numbers? So, as I mentioned, the official count over here you saw from the National Assembly say that 330 abduction and missing cases have been reported, and this is just the government count, the official count. So the journalists and the media broadcasts and the alleged potential kidnappings and everything go up to 3,000. So it's 1,000 to 2,000, but the media media sector is estimating that it's way over that. That it might go up to 3,000 people. Yeah. So and 200,000 from 60 plus countries. So 1,000 to 2,000 only from Korea, maybe even 3,000, and official count is 330. Obviously, the government wants to like kind of water it down a little bit, not to make people freak out. But and then there's the media trying to like inflate it to freak out the people and get views. But probably there's some middle ground over there, which is the truth. And I believe that, the worst is always the truth. So, yeah, it's always safe to assume the worst in these kind of cases. Who knows how many people out there might have gone missing without contacts, that are, that don't have any family members, relatives, friends to report on them. There have been so many missing cases even domestically within Korea as well too. So, yeah, 200,000 is insane, I know, right? And every time you see those reports about like illegal child labor in these like illegal camps in some parts of China or Southeast Asia, people are like, yeah, that can't be real. But now we have the tip of the iceberg, Koreans in Cambodia, and we're only talking about one nationality and one country. So all over the world, who knows where. Like I've heard a lot of reports about in regards to Europe, a lot of people in Eastern Europe, there are supposedly things like this. There are things like this in Russia, there are things like this in Africa. So all over the world there's actual human trafficking and slavery going on. So yeah, it's news worth attention. Safety is not guaranteed even at home. What are the Cambodian enforcement doing now? So they are cooperating with the Korean government, and by the Korean government's request, they are making these raids or military operations. They are arresting these people, and you saw some evidence over there of these compounds being cracked down. But the media is also saying because corruption goes very deep in Cambodia, it's very hard to infiltrate to like the lowest levels. Like even if there's like a presidential like a prime minister level order, it's going to be very hard to reach the remote areas and the actual ring members before they'll all escape. They'll all relocate, as we've been talking about. Like they have so many places to flee to and like relocate these people. And if the military doesn't have intel, if the government doesn't have intel about these pinpointed places, then yeah, there's only so much you can do. Yep. So Exactly. Better freak out than feeling too safe to actual risk. All right, so 270 people watching, only 62 likes, so don't forget to like the video before you go on to the next one. And if you're, I guess, not enjoying, but if you feel like this is interesting and informative news, if this is give you a wake-up call or whatever, please share this video, like this video, support this video, and yeah. Okay, so yeah, when I saw this, I was like, is this really happening? I mean, in two manners. First of all, in terms of 2025, like we always bring up years, like people always playfully say in the comments like, oh, by 2025 in the 1980s or something, people were expecting flying cars and like curing cancer and all that, but we still have human trafficking going on. So, like human beings, they never really change. And technology just doesn't really solve everything. I guess the fundamental things. Our lives have gotten better, but there's like these things being, you know, being done in the shadows. So 2025, 3,000 people, Korean people being abducted. That's crazy. Missing. That's crazy. Another thing is, um, while the government is doing their best, I'm not trying to blame them. I feel a little, slightly disappointed with the measures the government is taking. As I've mentioned, and a lot of people are mentioning, I know there are limitations as a small country. Um, and not to be on the high horse or anything, but economically and uh, politically, geopolitically stating, I would say Korea has some influence in Asia. And I know it's very tricky because these criminals are Chinese nationals. So there's another geopolitical angle over there, which complicates it, and it's in foreign land. But as I was saying, like if your nation has enough power, like force, like the US or even the EU, like imagine if this were US or EU citizens. Imagine the difference in the temperature
Thank you
or
for
of the
making better
measures that would have
videos.
been taken
So sad this is
immediately
happening.
when these kind of things would happen to their own citizens. Like I don't think it's far fetched to say that there would be full fledged operations by military forces from those countries, the rescue missions and all that. But the initial lukewarm reactions coming from our government and actually like rescuing the involved criminals, and I wouldn't say it's incompetence, but I just wish emotionally, I guess, that our government would escalate this even to a further level. Yeah, it's easy to say. I know, like it's diplomacy is very hard, and I guess like they're doing their best, and the president is making aggressive choices of wordings. But is that enough? I don't know. Yeah. Chammer, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the informative video. So sad this is happening. Yeah, I know. This is probably not the news you wanted to hear on a Saturday evening. But yeah, definitely in the US. I know, right? Mm-hmm. Angels exist and do protect in difficult situations. Let's hope for the best. Yeah. Cannot even imagine what goes on in the mind of anyone that does those horrific crimes. Yes, it is horrible what human beings can do to each other. So, I actually, I think I have some indirect experience related to this. Um, Maybe it's misplaced, but I was on dating apps for a while, and there are a lot of. So I didn't explain why Koreans are super popular getting abducted. Um, so a lot of reports have been saying that these organized crimes have different departments within them, and there's like, drugs departments, there's like financial scam departments, phone phishing, blah 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 blah. But apparently, according to the reports, Korean males and females are allocated to the romance scam department. And it's because of the rise of the K wave, K dramas, K pop, and apparently Korean people have likable visuals uh, to Southeast Asian people or Asian people in general. Basically, they're good looking. So a lot of Koreans have been allocated to these romance scam departments within those organized crime rings. And they are working on like webcams or dating apps or just open chatting rooms, whatever, as bait, as like, as romance bait. They act as if like they're gonna, engage in a romantic relationship with lonely people. I actually know an adult around me that has been lured into this romance scam, and usually how it goes is like it's like a 22-year-old Korean college girl that's working abroad right now as a work what do you call it, a working holiday or whatever form of labor to earn her tuition fee and return back to Korea. But as long as she gets this amount, she's this short of that amount of money at the moment. And, she's just chatting online because there's nothing to do in the region that she's in. And she hates that place and she wants to escape and come back to Korea. So she reaches out to random people online just to, cure her loneliness. And she ends up talking with like these lonely middle-aged men usually, and these middle-aged men seek comfort and a companionship with these people, and they establish a rapport and they get friendly with each other, and the man starts to feel for the girl and says like, oh, if it's that much you need, I could maybe like help you come faster. And the girl's like, oh yeah, that would be great if you could just send over some, a little bit of allowance money so that I can feed myself over here, maybe move to a better accommodation. Takes pictures of like her, place right now with mold and cockroaches. So they put out empathy, like sympathy from you. And these lonely people sympathize, or these delusional people actually think they might have a chance with these young, attractive females or males, even. And they send over money, and their requests get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then suddenly, like an emergency happens, like, oh, I got scammed, or I'm like abducted by someone over here. I need rescue. Like, could you please send over? And, like people might think it's dumb to fall into these kind of traps, but like the amount of people that actually get tricked into these kind of romance scams, like statistically is pretty high, and a lot of them actually have like high IQs as well too, if you look at reports. And it's because it's so meticulously scripted and organized and believable, and it brings out sympathy from the human heart. So yeah, like if you're not in the person's shoes that is being the victim of these romance scams, you fully can't understand. I once saw a Netflix drama. It's not in this region, but it's called The Tinder Swindler or something. And like the lengths of these scammers, the lengths these scammers go to trick these people into getting money. It's crazy. It's totally believable too. And some people are taken, advantage of. Some people are not in right mental state. Some people are just, dying of loneliness. So these people are taken advantage of. So it's totally a feasible scenario. So where I was getting to is, yeah, like I've been on a dating app and I've connected to a lot of, in my case, it wasn't even Korean. It was like Chinese people. And I gave it a leap of faith, like, okay, there might be Chinese people in Korea. Yeah, like Danny has a Chinese girlfriend, and so I'm like, okay, every time get connected to a Chinese person on this dating app, I'm like, okay, I'm a little suspicious, but let's take a leap of faith. And First off, like I've talked to maybe like two or three of these people, and they're very attractive too. Um, and they start off like very natural conversations, and they say like, "Oh, I go back and forth to Korea very often. I'm a business owner. I'm a very busy person. I work in like the fashion industry. I like export and import textiles and whatever." It's very detailed. They have a background story. And I play along for like, a while, like maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And, like sometimes I actually like, oh, maybe this person might be real. They actually mentioned like, oh, they've been to Yonsei before, they've learned Korean, even though their Korean is a little broken. Uh, Obviously, using Google Translate doesn't make sense, but like it's still, give give them a little bit of faith. And after like a day or two, you keep on engaging with the conversation, and without an exception, 100% out of my little small sample size of people, all of them have mentioned either investing, crypto, or sending over money. Yeah, it without an exception. And I'm always like, ah, shit, I wasted my time. So like even people like me who are alert about this might give them a chance. And they just seem like friendly people in the beginning, but afterwards, whenever someone mentions anything about money on these online platforms that I've never seen before, I'm like instant red flag, instant bye bye. Yeah. And I'm even kind of like, it gives me like a, what do you call it? A goosebump kind of reaction um, whenever I encounter these kind of conversations in regards to like finances and stuff. Thinking of, oh wow, like another guy probably today might have sent $10,000, $1,000 to this girl, and yeah, to imagine that is just sad. What apps do they use to scam? According to the reports, they use Kakao Talk, Open Chats, they use Tinder, they use Telegram, they use dating apps, they use online communities, all sorts. Yeah. Once they start asking for money, the red flag should go up. Exactly. Yes, it is a big ick. Scammers are on dating apps and quickly ask for WhatsApp numbers. Exactly. Yeah. They play into people's loneliness, prey on vulnerability. There was a Korean film, Citizen of a Kind. The female lead is a victim to a voice phishing scam. She winds up trying to rescue the scammer who is being held captive and forced to scam. Yeah, it's easy. Falling for these scams can ruin your retirement. Yeah, a lot of people fall into these scams. Exactly. I can't tell you how many times I've been love scammed and they play the long game. Exactly, right? And it's really messed up. They're getting really evolved with the manipulation tactics. Exactly. Yeah. Save me, Oppa scam. Slavery is everywhere. Saudi has only recently banned kafala. Yeah, that was a big issue back in like the World Cup, right? Yeah, only when big events like those um surface, then like there's investigative journalism. And until then, like it's all hidden behind the scenes. Yep. Okay. Okay, anyways, this was some dark news, and before we get on to the next one, just letting you guys know again that there will be an after show on Patreon only for live viewers. If you sign up as a free member, on this main live stream of KPC Live, we'll be discussing mostly Korean society issues, trends and the current news about K entertainment and stuff. But onto the Patreon live stream, which is free for free members, you will be getting my experience in New York for the last week. And yeah, I have thoughts. I have my own thoughts and experiences about New York. But oh yeah, I have a very, very. Should I spill this tea or not? Anyways, I'm Yeah, let me think about it. Depending on how many people join. But could you guys please wait for a moment until I go on to the until I get to the next subject while I get some water. Okay? So I'll just get some water and come back in like 30 seconds. All right? And also, if it doesn't bother you too much, let me turn on the AC because apparently I got all heated up during that past subject. Put it at quiet mode so it doesn't interfere with the mic. Oh, I guess the chair is blocking the bowl of water. Bowl of water. Okay. It's never a great idea to have um, soda during live streams because the it makes you burp, but I can't resist it. Okay, let's go on into some cultural stuff now before we get into the Hee-jin news, which will be the last one. And 290 people watching so far, only 100 likes. Slap that like button on before we go and proceed. Ooh, yes, guts in the house. Guts in the house. So let's go on into today's topic. This is a little bit of a cultural section that I thought you guys might be interested, weaved into a little bit of social criticism as well. So, do you know what this is over here? Do y'all know what this is? Do you all know what this is? The thing these people are wearing? Chammer already gave you the answer. You've probably seen it, but maybe not know much about it. So today I want to talk about the Korean traditional hat, aka the gat, G-A-T. It's this black or colorful hat worn by Korean people in the Joseon dynasty, and it goes way back all over to Goguryeo, and you'll see it in a lot of Korean historical dramas. You'll see it in modern applications as well too, with the Saja Boys and Netflix's K-pop Demon Hunters, and tourists wear these a lot in Gyeongbokgung Palace when they're visiting, along with their hanboks. It's the full set, right? And the world is actually falling in love with it right now. However, the sad thing about today's topic is that the kat might be disappearing because only 4 artisans, 4 craftsmen in Korea with an average age of 83 are left in Korea that are able to make the actual cuts, like authentic cuts. That's crazy. Only 4 people, average 83 years old, remain. And before this hat disappears forever, I will explain the cultural significance and the history and, the applications of kat. Okay? I'm trying to save and preserve my culture over here. We got to give some attention to the kat. So, why is the kat so popular? Obviously, because of K-pop Demon Hunters, and we had that K-pop. Had the Netflix drama like Kingdom and all these, historical dramas on K-dramas. Recently, there was like the one with Yuna, Bon Appetit, my king or something. Yeah, you see them around a lot. But a recent photo shoot done by Park Bo-gum on October 6th, appearing in a hanbok and kat, just exploded on the internet, and it was also displayed on New York Times Square. I didn't see it when I was there, but apparently it was displayed in Milan, Paris, and Tokyo. And what a beautiful picture over here. What a beautiful picture. Just look at that. Look at his face. Look at the cut. Look at the feather and the beads over here and the string with the hanbok. Don't you think it's beautiful? I mean, I am Korean myself, and I know and I've seen a lot of like native or aboriginal cultural outfits. But objectively speaking, I would say hanbok and cuts are up there. Are up there. Yeah. Look at this photo shoot. Look at this. Isn't it freaking beautiful? Yeah, he's dressed up as some kind of warrior from the Joseon era, and look at the long beads and the uh gradated gradationed um hanbok over here. Stunning, right? Stunning. That series of photos. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen it already on the internet. Look at this photo. Let's admire the beauty. Mm-hmm. Look at this cut decorated with the flowers and him being like a playful sunbi, a novel, a noble person of the Joseon dynasty. Yeah, it's amazing. It's just amazing. Look at the lighting over here, the cranes, the patterns, the pose, like he's dancing or something. This is just amazing. Anyways, this series of photos and pictures just broke the internet when it came out, apparently on the Korean lover section, at least. And it doesn't stop here. It's actually like being proved in numbers as well, because these cut shaped pens and bookmarks at the National Museum of Korea were sold out in a day. Isn't this so cute? This is a book holder. Like, what do you call it? Bookmark. This is so cute, isn't it? I'd like to buy one of these. You know, if you're a lover of books and if you ever get to visit Korea and the National Museum of Korea, which is amazing. BTS performed there and it's just very spacious and aesthetic. They have a massive park around. It's really, really nice. But like, this is so cute. I'd like to buy that. If Pirozo was running and operating right now, I'd definitely have this on the store. Look at this pen cap. Such a cute. What do you call this? A cut. Yeah, it's a pen that has a cut on it. Isn't it so cute? B just says, I love the bookmark. So beautiful. Noble gentleman. Yes. So yeah, like there's a series of these pens over here with the different type of cuts, from the nobleman to the king to the general, to the marriage ceremony one, to the officer, all that. So very, very cute selection. And you know, the K-pop demon hunters, Haja boys, wearing those cuts. They also had the beaded strings over here. Definitely sparked another global frenzy. Like kids nowadays, they go crazy over K-pop demon hunters and the Saja boys, and they're like, "What are those hats they're wearing? They're so cool, right?" And then they grow up, come to Korea, and get to experience them in Gyeongbok Palace, right? So yeah, a lot of people have been complimenting the beauty of cuts in regards to K-pop Demon Hunters as well. But there's another interesting thing I found on the internet on Reddit. Uh, on the K-pop Demon Hunters Reddit, it's called the Vatican Saja Boys. And this is a picture of Kim Dae-gun. He was Korea's first priest. What do you call it? Yeah, Catholic priest. And he's a very famous one because we learn about it in the textbooks when Chosun was like opening up. He was the first one to like adopt and take in Catholic, and yeah. So there's a statue of him at the Vatican St. Peter's Basilica, and this statue of him is wearing a cut too and a hanbok. Isn't it so unique? Yeah. I don't know if the Vatican St. Peter's Basilica is like like a mainstream main hall or anything, but the fact that we have a priest, a Korean priest with a cut on in the Vatican is pretty unique, I would say. So yeah, now it's a culture icon, the K hat, right? Wow. There's a video on K Heritage channel that shows how intricate made a cut is. Yes, it is very intricate in making. So a little bit of history, bear with it. I'll go through it fast. So the Guts history goes back 1,500 years to the Three Kingdoms period in a Goguryeo mural called the Chakrip Kima Inmurto. It means a man standing up, like a man riding a horse picture. That's what it means. This warrior on the horseback shoots a bow while wearing a cut. It looks very cute, right? The regenerated one looks like an animation, a cartoon, caricature or something. But yeah, if you see here, like it dates back all the way to like the Goguryeo era, and it shielded rain, helped in hunting, shielded the sun as well. Korean people don't like to get tanned, everybody knows. And in the Shilla era, which is the grounds for APEC nowadays, mostly in Gyeongju, archaeologists also found royal crowns resembling early cuts. So there were different versions and evolutions of cuts by era. And the most well known cut of today in all these historical dramas are by the Joseon dynasty cuts, right? But actually, in the late Goryeo dynasty, King Gongmin made it a status symbol. So apparently, there were differentiations between statuses with the shape of cuts. And he was like, oh, it's so hard to like differentiate who's who with all these similar cuts. Apparently, they were very similar back then. So he was like, make some differentiations, make some little different details. So thanks to him, we have all these new designs and stuff. And ironically, according to the records, King Gongmin, he actually banned wearing cuts in the palace because like it was hard to differentiate people, and apparently like you're not supposed to wear hats in front of a king or something like that, right? I've experienced something similar when I was in the Vatican or some churches. They're like, take off your hats because you're not supposed to wear something on top of your head while you're in the presence of God or like something. So yeah. So in the Joseon dynasty in 1392 to 1910, the kat became the status or the signature of the yangban, which is like the nobles or the scholars and officials. And this classic kat is called the hukrip. It's basically the black kat and was made from woven horsehair or finely split bamboo, and it was lacquered in black, and it took over 40 days to craft, so only the elite could afford it. It's a very expensive product. It is, after all, a status symbol. No slaves or no ordinary people could wear these cuts, and they adorned the strings with with the beads to flaunt statuses. So the more decorative and like flamboyant your beads are, I mean, like you got the money, right? And fun fact, in the Saja Boys K-pop Demon Hunters got version, they also have the beaded strings too. So they come from class. So anyways, the class system ended in 1894 and commoners started wearing cuts as well by the 1900 era. And Joseon men wore top knots, as you can see over here. These are called top knots. In Korean, it's called sangtu, to honor their parents by keeping their hair. And the cut was to protect it. So that's why they have like a little poop peek over it. And over time, the round-topped cut evolved into a flat, angular shape like you're seeing over here for a dignified look. And look at this good-looking person. He probably attracted a lot of women back then. Yeah, I'm joking, right? Okay, you love the history and Korean culture? All right, thank you, Steph, All Things Beautiful. Okay. And in the 19th century, Westerners arrived in Korea and they were captivated. And an American astronomer called Percival Lowell wrote that the kat deserved a whole book Apparently, he was mesmerized by the different types of it and the beauty and the craftsmanship of it, and Lowell praised it as an equal to Western silk hats, noting how finely woven bamboo and silk were indistinguishable. Indistinguishable. And the French ethnologist Charles Verrat, in this book, named it Le Pays des Chapeaux, whatever that is, the land of hats. Yeah, that was the first impression when these Westerners arrived on the Korean Peninsula back then. They're like, oh, wow, everybody's wearing these interesting hats. Just imagine back then, you're like a Westerner and you landed on Korean soil. You probably came through Japan or somewhere. Everyone's walking around with these weird shaped hats. You've never seen these kind of hat shapes before, right? So I definitely see the viewpoint, like people saying, oh, this is the land of hats. It would be a very interesting view, like going to a new country, like an uncharted territory, and like these indigenous people all wearing uniform hats, but different designs and like beads. And that would be a whole new world. It's the discovery of K-pop, right? Thank you, Sunshine Dragon. Be sure to hit the like button. It doesn't cost anything, and support David. Yeah, Lola, thank you so much. I appreciate learning so much about Korean culture. I'm in Texas, so hats here are loved. Oh yeah, I have my own cowboy hat over there too. Maybe I should wear that one. Shout out to Ross. But anyways, going back to the cuts and the sad part. So making a cut is called cut ir. It basically means like, cut work. And it's a national intangible cultural heritage. It's actually number 4 on the list, and it's divided into 3 roles. So I won't get too technical, but basically making the crown and the brim and assembling it and finishing up with the silk and lacquer. So these 3 stages are the roles of making a cut. And the bamboo is split thinner than hair, apparently. How do you even do that? And it's woven with horsehair. So it's basically made of bamboo and horsehair. And the brim's gentle curve is a unique Korean aesthetic. The tighter the weave is, it goes down to 0.1 millimeter gaps. It's higher quality, the tighter the weave is. And no machines are used, all handmade, and the only modernization is electric irons replacing the charcoal ones nowadays. And a cut usually costs from 20 to 40 million won. So that's like, oh my gosh, my numbers over here, 20 million won, 100만 원, 1000만 원. So, that would be, let's say, 20K, like around 10K to 20K USD in today's money. Back then, that was the worth of cuts. Yeah, in the 1930s, a silk threaded sarip cut was worth 20 to 30 million won in today's money. So like around that, 10 to 20K USD. It's pretty expensive, right? Well, you're going to be wearing it all over the place and flashing it. So it's a status symbol too. So yeah, it can get expensive. The cowboy hat back there is pretty expensive too. But yeah, definitely because it wasn't affordable, cheaper porip cuts use cloth. But true cuts are supposed to be made with bamboo and horsehair. So here's the sad part. I told you again, but only 4 cut artisans remain, and averaging 83 years old. This is one person you're seeing over here. His name is Jung Chun-mo, and he has crafted cuts for over 67 years. Respect. And this guy over here is Park Chang-yong, who's 82, and he carries a 140-year, 5-generation legacy of making cuts. And his son over here, Park Hyung-pak, the 5th generation successor, says, very salty, a 10,000 won cut, a nylon cut on Amazon, that's fake. Ours take a month to make, woven thread to thread. Their family won awards at international craft biennales, and after Kingdom aired, cheap knockoffs on Amazon with wireframes, with glue or tape. Disappointed a lot of buyers worldwide. Apparently, a lot of people want it for like, I don't know, just costumes or maybe just for fun or collections. And the disappointed buyers asked in the reviews, like, is this Korean got? And these people got really offended by it. Imagine, like, you are a craftsman and it takes you a month and it's usually 10 to 20K to buy one and they're selling $10 ones on Amazon. Well, this one is $50, but that's like a fraction of the price, right? Korean drama Kingdom had Chosen Dynasty traditional hats. I'm pretty sure they still sell these on Amazon. And it looks pretty shitty. It looks like it's gonna tear apart right away. Yeah? It was the iPhone of the Chosen era. Yeah, maybe, maybe. Mm-hmm. So the artisan Park Chang-yong actually recreated these kind of royal cuts, like King Cheolcheong's. This is King Cheolcheong's royal cut. But without the apprentices right now, the craft is dying. And Park Chang-yong said, "If I quit, it's done. It's gone." And his granddaughter is a high schooler, plans to be the sixth generation, but it's a tough path. And the reason to it is definitely because of economic reasons. Everything's about money in this capitalistic society. It's very sad. I think the government should definitely try to preserve and give like more what do you call it, subsidiaries or support towards these national heritage industries. But yeah, apparently there is a budget for it, but it's been dropping and dropping. In 2024, it was 64 billion won, and now it's 54 billion won. So there has been a 10 billion won cut. I guess there are, other places in our society to use that 10 billion won. So lawmakers like Min Hyung-bae said that without more funding, it's gonna vanish. Other heritages like loom part makers or bamboo craftsmen already have no artisans left. And what's important about the cut is that it's not only like our aesthetic cultural heritage, it actually carries philosophy as well too. So, it's very sturdy, it doesn't press down, it perches on your head and it forces you to stand straight when you're wearing it. So it forces you to have class. And it symbolizes orgot. Orgot is like a Korean word that means like upright, like being very like moral and righteous and all that. You get the vibe of it, right? And it's the teaching of Confucian scholars or the sunbi, the noblemen or the scholars who valued integrity and harmony with nature. And the bamboos used for strength, horsehairs used for flexibility, and the circles and lines you see here reflect the cosmos. So there is a philosophy in here. And the sunbis wore cuts while leading righteous uprisings like the Tonghak Revolution, and it was never just a hat but a symbol of moral leadership. So you can see all the different type of cuts over here. It's all for different statuses, different occupations, different ages, different usages. This one is definitely it's mostly bamboo made. It's for like, rain, the kings and nobles, the marriage ones, the military ones. Yeah, this is the cheap knockoff version for the commoners. It's made by what do you call it? What was it? The other material I can't remember, but this picture resembles the vigilante Hong Gil-dong. He's our Robin Hood. He used to steal from crooked noblemen, and this is his symbol because like he used to be like apparently a magician, and he could transport from here to there, from the East Sea to the West Sea, and his symbol is this chorip kat. So yeah, it's a very interesting culture. And, coming back to this beautiful picture of Pak Bogum, right? Nowadays there's a lot of hype because of K-pop demon hunters Pak Bogum, and in the Western world and globally as well too. And the cut philosophy says like raise your head. raise your heart, be like a righteous person, be in the right posture, and it leads to like modern leadership and ethics. But ironically, the artisans are now fading, and it might be in the brink of extinction for its 1,500 years of history. Yeah, that's very sad, you know? Like, I don't want to see factory manufactured knockoff cuts in the future only being circulated, only being produced. Like these kind of real authentic cuts, even it's pretty hypocritical for me to say or any of our us Koreans to say because we don't wear them. It's I guess hanboks are a little bit better in positioning because some people still do wear hanboks in special occasions like marriage, weddings, and like in front of Gyeongbokgung or during Chuseok holiday or Seollal. But in terms of cuts, we really don't wear it. So yeah, I think Korean people first need to start adopting wearing cuts in order for the industry to be revitalized. But it's realistically a very hard thing to pull off in the modern day era. It'd be pretty epic though if some fashionistas or hipsters started wearing cuts in the streets. You know what? Maybe I should get a cut and make it my signature for like street interviews or something. I know a guy that has like a cowboy hat on. So getting a cut, an actual authentic cut. I don't know if I'd be able to spend 10K on it, but maybe like a couple $100 cut that has a little bit of good quality. I could make it my signature. That's actually good. I'll be spreading Korean culture. You think a cut would look good on me? Yeah. Um, have you ever worn a hanbok to this degree? No. Like the only time I've worn a hanbok is like in 2 decades during probably Chuseok when I was very young. Yeah, just because my mom thought it was cute and I had to like leave a picture. Probably. Yeah. Could you wear one next live? I don't know. I'll have to look whether they sell cuts. Like they probably have the knockoff ones on Coupang, definitely. If you go to Coupang, let me actually look for cuts. So yeah, they definitely have the cheap ones for $10. Like these look very cheap, right? Like compared to the ones I showed you, these look like they're gonna tear off immediately. These are probably like Halloween costume ones. Yeah, it's Halloween after all. So maybe I should dress as a zombie on Halloween and go somewhere. But definitely not top quality. They go up to like maybe this one's like $30, a little bit better. They're colored, but like you can see it's all crumbled. Not really, craftsy. So I don't see like really expensive ones over here. Obviously, it's Coupang. They're not gonna sell expensive ones, but I don't know if I can actually get my hands on a proper cut and where to even get it. Probably I'll have to go to Insadong or somewhere to get one. But I think it could be an iconic signature for me. Yeah. Yes, get a cut. You would look great in it. They have modernized hanboks. Yeah, that was where I was getting to. So hanboks are in a better position because there are more occasions where people wear hanboks, and also there are a lot of fashion designers that are trying to modernize hanboks and incorporate them and interpret them in more modern looks. So there are a lot of beautiful modern hanboks out there. I've worked with some few. There's companies like Tanha, there's like Liesel and all that. But Katz in particular, the hat market here is, yeah, as I said, almost dead. You really look good in a hanbok. I actually tried on a Saja Boys costume when I was in the New York Coon Festival. I took a picture of it, but I don't know where it is. Yeah. Do street interviews in a cut for Halloween? Maybe. Yeah. I think there's gonna be a lot of Saja Boys this year. A lot. A lot of them will be in K-pop Demon Hunters, Huntrix, and Saja Boys outfits. It's very easy to pull off. Hello, Neha. Um, Yeah. So, David, are they willing to teach people who are not family so others may be able to carry on the tradition? What I think, as long as you're dedicated enough to, if you're devoted, yes. Yeah. They're they're looking hard for people to continue the tradition, but if there's no demand and if there's no sales, if there's no profit and you can't make a living out of it, and if it's not your family tradition or your family business and you don't have like a mission in it, I think it's going to be very hard for a normal person to get into making this. And it's quite a craftsy, artsy field where you'll have to get the skill over time, and there's probably like an apprenticeship or yeah, a training session. So I don't know if modern people will be able to stand that process. Mm-hmm. Bogami. Yeah. If you go to the Busan Museum, it does a free tea ceremony and dress you in hanbok. Oh, that's good. Guys can get a cut. All right. Yeah. So, anyways, it's pretty sad that this is disappearing. Maybe I can do my own part by wearing it in the public, but I don't think it's gonna do much. Yeah, let's just hope that there are more K dramas, historical dramas. That's probably where they use the most realistic cuts. But even in those, I would argue that they already have enough in their props warehouses that they reuse for all these dramas. But because the authentic ones can get expensive, so probably the ones worn in Kingdom and such would be authentic ones. Yeah, you don't want to have knockoffs on Netflix grade films, right? Will fathers pass on cuts to the sons? I don't know about that. Yeah, I honestly don't know, but I would think if you're from a noble family, you would custom make a new cut for your son. That would be probably the most like what do you call it? Most standard procedure. But if you are from a noble family, but you're a broke scholar family, then maybe his father would pass it over. But then the father wouldn't have anything to wear, so yeah, who knows? The Demon Hunters are supposed to be number one Halloween costumes this year. Yeah, obviously. Uh-huh. A lot to learn and commit to. Interesting. Yeah, so when I was operating Piroso, I actually visited a lot of these artisans, not only like cut making artisans, but in the crafts field or in the traditional field. We had a lot of traditional stuff. And I learned the fact that most of the traditional craftsmen and arts field in Korea is dying out. They are living on government support and funds. It's coming from the cultural department, and it's just minimal support, just barely enough to put food on the table. And it's not actually a business; it's just like a passion at this point, and it's just a, a mission for them. And these people are doing our country a service by preserving the culture. So a lot of respect, but it's a sad reality. I hope there was like a incentivized model, some genius young startup person could make cuts great again. Yeah. I believe that the artisans also specialize in making only one part of the cut and not the whole thing. Yeah, apparently, according to the articles, they say that there are three different parts in making the cut. So if you only know one, then you can't make the whole thing. You need all three pieces, so it's even harder. Heritage Foundation must include these. Yes. Okay, so yeah, that was it for the cut. And we are going on to everybody's favorite subject. All right, we have 325 people watching. Appreciate you guys watching the culture section and the history section as well. Yeah, this is what KPC is for. Not only entertainment, but informative Korean culture. And if you appreciate that, please support by any form, by a like, by a share, by a comment, by a PayPal donation, or a super chat. It's very much welcomed. I used a lot during the US trip. Thankfully, due to your PayPals from before, I was able to buy my friend a very nice meal, and I was able to cover the Uber costs and give good tips to the service workers and everybody while I was there. I abided by the US code. Yes. Thank you again. Anyways, okay, let's go on to the last subject of today before we move on to the Patreon membership live stream. So, okay, well. Watch it peak, the viewership peak. Okay, well. The chat is going to get riled up. But who do we have here? Well. On October 16th, the one and only Hee-jin completed the corporate registration for her new record label, her new entertainment agency called OOAK. Apparently, it stands for one of a kind. OOAK. According to the articles, I have not found evidence to back that up, but apparently the journalist got it somewhere. But the name reflects her signature creative philosophy of uniqueness, and a drawing shared on her social media featured the phrase, only one always known. So it could be interpreted in two ways. I think the official version is one of a kind, and internally the meaning is only one always known. Probably referring to herself or her style, but this is like, what do you call it? A pictogram or anagram? That stands for OOAK over here, and this is like a very New Jeans Bunny-esque uh, scribble of OOAK's potential logo. Who knows? But these were all on her Instagram. As you can see, they were all done on iPhones, and I think it's like her notepad for ideation and stuff. And maybe these are some drafts for what kind of image or concept she wants to have for her new brand or logo. Only one, always known, right? And then records, OOAK records over here, and I think a little bit more drafts. Yeah, this looks like human beings, like hieroglyphics, maybe even. You know those like Pokemon alphabet unknown series? They kind of look like those as well too. You have a little bit more, I don't know what these are, but like, yeah, she's a creative person, so she might be in the phase of like ideating what she wants, like her logo or brand image to look like. So anyways, these are scribbles. So yeah, they're interpreted as a declaration to gain recognition through original content, the only one always known logo and meaning, and it's apparently unswayed by capital or established norms. Oof. Okay. The timing is pretty well played, I would say. It's her first official move since stepping down as Adore's internal director in November 2024. Official as in non-legal. Yeah, she's been official in a lot of courtrooms, but like in terms of like a creative person, this is her first official move. And why the timing is very interesting is because it's just before the New Jeans lawsuit ruling, the final ruling that is coming. And this move suggests maybe some strategic intent. So apparently the New Jeans lawsuit is going to be on the 30th, which is 4 days from now, and her dropping this 4 days before. Is this a statement? Is this a declaration? Who knows? So the company's registered purposes include artist management, music production and distribution, event and performance distribution, planning, content publishing, as well as overseas business, e-commerce, and everything. signaling a comprehensive structure aimed at global market expansion. With a capital of approximately 30 million Korean won, OOAK is based near Garosu-gil in Shinsadong, nice area, Gangnam, where construction of its office building is reportedly underway. Okay, she has that dough. Industry insiders see OOAK as posed to grow into a comprehensive entertainment entity blending content and lifestyle. So, a lot of reports have been saying OOAK is supposed to be read as okay. So, I don't know where they got their sources from. Maybe Minijin mentioned it in one of her posts or something, or like an internal source got that. But yeah, the reporters are all referring it to as okay. So it's a more public friendly way to say it, I guess. So from now on, I'll say okay, right? Her label okay. So before we go on to judge whether this is going to be a success or a flop or what are her action plans for this, we have to go over the legal disputes and risks, right? So everybody has been following. Like by now, we don't even know the details. Like, yeah, like there's been too many cases, too many details, too many trials and sentences and appeals and all that. But here I am. I am here to summarize the final verdicts and updates of her legal disputes and risks. So, the future of OK is closely tied to these multiple legal risks. As of October 2025, tensions are high as the Haibador versus Minijin Newjeans disputes are heading towards a final critical first ruling. Yeah, so the first thing we have to tackle is the non-compete clause controversy. The non-compete clause controversy in regards to her put option lawsuit, and Minijin maintains that she lawfully ended her shareholder agreement with Hybe, avoiding any non-compete breach. However, the 26 billion Korean won put option and contract termination lawsuit could still affect OK's launch. The final pleadings concluded on September 11th, 2025, with Min alleging Hybe's management takeover attempt and Hybe accusing her of plotting to seize control. The court has scheduled Min's in-person testimony for November 27th, 2025, with pleadings closing on December 18th. Wow, we still have a long way to go. No ruling has been issued yet, leaving uncertainty for OK's operations. So for the non-compete clause controversy, which is pretty much the biggest one, we still have November 27th and December 18th left. Okay? Yeah, one crossed out. Next one. So this is a little minor one, but at least we had some closure on this. So it's the workplace harassment fine. Immediately before OK's establishment, the Seoul Western District Court, Civil Division 61, partially upheld a fine against Min for workplace harassment on October 17, 2025. The ruling affirmed 2 of 4 allegations, verbal abuse and failure to investigate, but rejected the other 2, resulting in a reduced penalty. So it's a half win, half lose for her. Min Hee-jin's side views it as a partial victory, of course, due to the fine reduction, but it continues to cast a shadow on her credibility for attracting investors and partners. Yeah, so people who are looking into OK or investing into it or working there even might take some reference to this case, the workplace harassment. Like there was some, I don't know the details, like it's too messy, but like there was a employee that claimed that she was doing sexual harassment and like, you know, bombarding him or her with very aggressive words and stuff. And there are a lot of Kakao Talk threads out there. So you go look into that. I will not translate all of this, but like if you just look at this one Kakao Talk, she is definitely using very aggressive language. She's like, "Oh yeah, Yeah, try to fuck me over, bitch. I'm sorry for the profanity, but I'm just translating how it is. I taught you. I gave you an opportunity. Huh. Yeah, this is you're committing the crime of making me feel bad, and that's like in a satirical manner. Yeah, there's a thing called 기분 상해죄. That's like, yeah, you offended me, something like that. Anyways, mm-hmm. So the last set of legal risk she has is obviously with the exclusive contract lawsuit between Eugene's and Adore. While she is not the actual person in trial for this, and Eugene's is, this is going to affect her definitely in her future plan and projections for OK. So, following the collapse of mediation on September 12th, 2025, the Eugene's case is now set for a first instance ruling on October 30th, coming in 4 days. And Hybe Adore insists that the contract is valid and that Eugene's unilateral moves constitute breaches. Eugene's argues that the breach of trust and Hybe's inaction on concept plagiarism, as highlighted in the third hearing on July 25th. Eugene's is arguing on the breach of trust from Hybe, and an existing injunction from May 30th prohibits independent commercial activities, imposing a 1 billion Korean won fine per violation, keeping the group on an indefinite hiatus. So they tried to do, what was it? NJZ, and the court stopped them, and they can't do any performances at the moment because they'll be hit by a 1 billion Korean won fine per violation. Fans and experts warn of mounting mental and financial strain on the members after nearly a year of inactivity, with social pressure from petitions intensifying in late 2025. The October 30th ruling is widely seen as a make or break moment for Eugene's future. So in just 4 days, we will have a verdict. It will determine and blueprint the future of Eugene's in a concrete manner. I don't know if they have more legal moves they can choose from this point on, but it's definitely a make or break moment. So, how does this affect OK and Minijin's new company, right? The biggest question is, who is OK's first artist going to be? Is it going to be Eugene's? Well, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So, yeah, it depends. That's why the ruling is important. Depending on the October 30th ruling, if it goes in favor of Eugene's and they're possibly freed from their contracts and Hybe Adore loses, then Minijin might be able to get Eugene's into OK, right? It sounds weird when I'm saying OK, right? So this is like the most likely scenario a lot of people are saying, right? The high likelihood of joining. It's not likely that Eugene's is going to win, but just in the case of Eugene's winning, like the most likely outcome is Eugene's is definitely going to join with Minijin's new label, OK, right? So they've called Minijin their mom several times. Everyone knows they have like a very intimate relationship with her. Minijin has a lot of pride in her concept and her artistic choices with Eugene's music and all that. It's one of her biggest reputations. So there's no reason not to work again together. I don't think they're tired of each other or anything at this point. Like, yeah, it's highly probable if Eugene's is set free, they'll join this new agency called OK, right? People on Twitter, X, or communities are saying this is going to be an OK comeback, pun intended, maybe. Yeah, and it's likely that Hybe could appeal and there might be more legal hurdles. So the hiatus could be pushed more into the future. We don't know. Maybe they'll just like settle. Everyone's very tired of what's happening. But yeah, industry experts do have a consensus that Minijin's creative vision is New Jeans' core. So if New Jeans were to not go together with Minijin, then that would mean losing a part of their core and they would never be the same again. Yeah. On the other hand, their reunion could also reshape K-pop as well. It could make a seismic shift in K-pop because um, despite their controversies and all that, without a doubt, New Jeans was a fresh sound, fresh concept to the K-pop scene, and their songs did chart up very high. It was very trendy globally as well too. So yeah, who knows what the outcome is going to be. So that's scenario A, but in scenario B, oh yeah, this is another like concept photo from New Jeans, Minijin produced. But in scenario B, there's a path where Minijin pursues an independent one with new artist development. Should Adore win and the contract be upheld, leaving New Jeans bound, Minijin could just scout fresh talent and recruit established acts to embody her one and only one philosophy on her own terms. And in this case, New Jeans might face forced resumption under Adore amid breach of trust tensions that heighten the risks of member withdrawal, with Minijin leveraging her SM Entertainment network for breakthroughs as fan reactions split between excitement for Min's signature music, um, and there's a fear of like the group disbandment of New Jeans, if the lawsuit fails and all that. Um, yeah, so like it is a known fact that this is Minijin back in her day in SM Entertainment that she formed a lot of concepts for a lot of artists, starting from like some songs and albums from EXO and the what do you call it, the school uniform eras, the pink tapes, uh girls generations G, Red Velvet, FX, every successful SM group has gone through her aesthetics and conceptualization. So yeah, she is a competent person, and it's pretty much proven that she knows what she's doing. I don't know legally, but in terms of K-pop, so I would say like even given her track record, there would be a lot of players out there that would be willing to invest in her and make a K-pop group. Like, some people might argue like, oh, who's going to collab with Minijin after all this havoc and like, this whole controversy? You can't tame her. She's totally, like a football that just goes ballistic all over the place. She tries to poach idols, blah 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 blah. Despite all of that, if you were an investor and you had the options in investing a totally random new group, a Nugu group, which a CEO like David Kim, who was an ex K-pop YouTuber, aspires to be like a K-pop label management, wants to make and raise a K-pop group, versus Minijin, who has a track record of doing FX, Red Velvet, EXO, New Jeans, and all that. Even given the circumstances, even the situations, like who would you go with, right? So, anyways, I think yeah, there are a lot of people excited industry wise, investing wise in her new project. Okay. There's a lot of buzz about it already. Obviously, there's a lot of positive buzz and negative buzz. Yeah, people are like, oh, it's gonna be a flop. Like, nobody's gonna side with her. I see it differently. It doesn't mean I'm on her side, okay? Like, before you say, oh, he's a Toki, he loves New Jeans, he's on Minijin's side, blah, 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 blah. I'm just freaking tired of that shit. But yeah, before you say any of that, like objectively, I'm just saying there will be players who want to play with her. Yeah, right? So I can't predict the future. 4 days, I think highly, uh, there's a high chance that New Jeans will lose. I wouldn't be saying this if I'm a fan of them, right? Or, yeah, that doesn't mean I'm not a fan of them. I'm just like here neutral. Anyways, um, yeah, so I think Hybe and Adore definitely has the upper hand legally. That's what we've been seeing in the court already for the past two trials or something. I don't know what New Jeans has up on their sleeve. They didn't settle. That was their last chance. But I don't think it's going to work in New Jeans' favor. So, in terms of that, and according to that, I don't know how it's going to work out for New Jeans' new label. I don't think New Jeans is going to be able to join OK. That's just my personal opinion, my short sighted, uneducated opinion. Okay? So, yeah, I think there's a slim chance that New Jeans might win and a slim chance that they might join OK. Yeah, I think the chances are very, very low. But who knows? The world works in a mysterious way. They might magically settle at the end. I think by now, even if she does make a new group and maybe like recruits existing groups out there and make them successful, would it be the best picture for her? Because New Jeans is essentially her daughter group, right? And she's her mom. And without New Jeans' case being resolved, her moving on to a new group, I don't think that would be great, optics wise, right? But then one could say, like, life has to go on. Even for her, she needs to earn something, right? She's probably used tons on her legal fees and all that. So, who can blame her? But I don't think it's going to be seen in a good light. Yeah, whatever she does, there's always going to be a tag now. She's already like kind of scarlet lettered, and yeah, there's always going to be antis and haters no matter what she does. So I guess in her stance, the only option is to move on forward, go on with life, start over. I guess that's what she's doing, maybe. I feel like she now has a stigma on her. No matter how good she is, people will not want to work with her. I beg to differ. Yeah, as long as there's money involved, you know, like we just covered scam crime rings in illegal organizations. Totally unrelated comparison, but the point is, people will do anything for money if they see money, if they smell money. If Minijin approaches one of these investors and say like, "I'll make a freaking sexy good group for you. Just invest this amount of money. Give all my bad rep, whatever, a big F middle finger. I will make money for you. This is my projection. This is my presentation. This is the concept I have. This is a sample, music, whatever. These are the assets I have, the human resources I've been eyeing on. If it's solid and an investor's tempted, then I will see. I think there will be money. Yeah. I think the Chinese companies will pay out the Jeans contract. Honestly, what I've seen of the court so far, it's no telling how it'll go. I wouldn't be surprised if both Jeans and Minijin win. I don't know. I don't know on the legal side, to be honest. Kakao will probably back her. Who knows? Kakao is affiliated with SM, and they have a dream of becoming a big entertainment company as well, too. They are a competitor of Hybe, so who knows? Yeah. Oh, yeah, and mentioning Hybe, also, if you want to join the after show right after this, uh, join as a free member on Patreon, patreon.com/KoreanPizzaClub over here. Oh, not that one. But I actually heard a lecture from the Hybe COO at the Kum Festival, and he had a very interesting point of view, which kind of contradicts my point of view. I have a take on that. So let me talk briefly about that. You guys gotta remind me on that topic because it might slip from my mind, but it just reminded me. It's gonna be in the vlog upcoming anyways, but yeah. Um, I reckon she thinks way ahead, probably got other groups lined up ready to go. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. A competent people are competent. Yeah. Problematic doesn't equal incompetent, right? What'd he say? You'll know in the after show. I think set them up to sacrifice themselves for Minijin. She is a narcissist. That's a point of view. Dolphiners will work with her. Yeah, the dolphin guy from if you're referring to the dolphin guy from the APEC music video director. Yeah. Um she probably has a group in mind, maybe take trainees from other labels again. I see the saltiness there. Again. Maybe Minijin has a trap card up her sleeve, something so big on Hybe that they have to let her be. That's what I've been thinking the whole time, because like without something like a huge Joker card or something, like it doesn't make sense for her to like go on with these massive trials. K-pop is driven by money for sure. My thing is, how would she even collab? I feel like every major company would blacklist Minijin and any group she creates. The market is big, and there are a lot of big fish out there. Yeah. Exactly. Minijin knows the ropes, understands the industry. I'm sure she'll do well. Hmm. Do you really believe she opened her new company just for New Jeans? No, she wants to prove herself now. She plans to do a new group so she can take all the credit. Yeah, that might be an alternative motive. I see. Yeah, that could be a strong motive for sure. Hmm. If she gets the girls back, I feel sorry for them. She will own them lock, stock, and barrel. But can we say so though? Because like New Jeans themselves want Minijin too. So yeah. Okay. Oh, the after show will pop up soon. Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'll just open it right now so that you guys can come over. I have it all set up. There we go. All right. It is public. So as long as you're a free member, just sign up on Patreon as a free member and you'll have access to the most recent post that just got posted right now. Yeah, but let me know what you think about this whole OK thing. Like, let's talk a little bit about the naming sense. What do you think about the name itself? OK, OOAK, one of a kind. One and only always. What was it? Always known? I see a lot of comments saying it's narcissistic. Maybe. What do you think of the naming sense? I was kind of interested in seeing her inner creative procedures being on a humble notepad for iPhone. I would have thought like she has a whole screen or board of concept sheets with like mock-ups and I don't know, designer generated stuff, but maybe that's just like the very prototype scribble phase. Yeah. And it's just like the conceptualization phase. But yeah, her releasing that on social media gives us a sight into like her creative process and it was very humble in my opinion. It was very interesting. I guess everyone starts there. Like it's a good habit. I've noticed a lot of gurus and successful people always mention they're like if you come across like a good idea or something, it doesn't have to be fancy, just get your notepad up and just jot down whatever you have on your mind. Maybe it's like the procedure in that, but yeah, I like the logo she made with the play buttons. Yeah, that was interesting. That was Yeah, that was pretty cute. It's like it resembles music and OOAK at the same time. So that's a fancy one, but I couldn't find this. Like I found it on some like articles, but I couldn't find this its original source. Yeah. She's okay as she keeps her court dates postponed. Even though I'm neutral, I don't like the name. It just doesn't sound good. Yeah, it sounds like okay. It doesn't sound like okay. It sounds like because it's OOAK, it's like okay, 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 something like that with an accent. And people who don't know might pronounce it as like oak. Oak. Professor Oak from Pokemon. Logo kind of reminds me of Squid Games. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. I get what you're saying. The the circle, X, and triangle, right? Oh, maybe she's making a Squid Game series for the K-pop trainees out there. Oof. I think that's a cute concept for a girl group. Hmm. This one down here, the bird one. This one could be a good tattoo, I would say. A cute tattoo. Hmm. I imagine there will be several thousand potential trainees from Korea abroad that would be interested in trying out for Minijin. I made I made New Jeans HG. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, like I was talking in an investor's perspective, but if you were a trainee too, like let's assume, okay? Let's assume you absolutely despise and hate Minijin, okay? Let's assume you're one of those really big haters of Minijin, but you're a K-pop trainee and you've been auditioning for all these companies. Hybe rejected you, SM, JYP, YG all rejected you, Starship rejected you. You have like, other labels, Source Music, Pledis, they're all under Hybe. Anyways, all of these labels rejected you. The only options you have are like these Nugu labels, small labels, maybe Chinese capital labels, blah 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 blah. And you're not even sure you're gonna make that into those labels. But there's a new opening, a LinkedIn ad over here. Okay, and the CEO is the one and only Minijin, who has a record of directing some big groups in the past from SM and New Jeans as well. You absolutely despise her inside. Would you not take that audition? If she reached out to you and say, I see potential in you. Maybe you might have a shot under my guidance. Even if you hate her, let's be real. Would you not take that chance? I don't know. If you were a trainee and you hated her, absolutely. I still think when it actually when shit actually hits the fan, people would line up. They should read their contract very carefully. Yeah. Why did she leave SM in the first place? She got a good contract deal from Hybe, from Pang PD. That's the whole fiasco about the put option right now. Yeah. She is pretty picky. Yeah. I don't know if she would take trainees that others have rejected, but she might also have vision in sorting out raw material or gems, hidden gems. A majority of the people who hate her are doing so from reading a Reddit post about her. Okay. Oh yeah, as a parent, that would be a different story. So, like as a trainee, I mean, you're desperate, you want to go in and you might want to give, yourself a chance under the one and only Minijin. But as a parent, then like parents have lived their lives long enough to know that, you got to see the long game. You got to see the big picture or the forest instead of the tree. So in that case, parents might influence their kids, talk them over, but still, I would say, even if you were a parent and you really wanted your kid to succeed to a certain level of a degree of success, if I were a parent and my kid didn't have any options left and he or she's already 17, 18, the age limit is coming, and he's not been doing good at school, and I don't have any family business to inherit him or her to. Um, and the only option left is becoming a K-pop idol, which he or she has been training for years, and I don't want to see that dream dissolve and evaporate. And there's an open audition for OK. I'd be like, yeah, check it out. Eugene's parents don't have a problem with her. That's facts too. Yeah. Even though she has a lot of hate online, does that hate really translate into hate in real life? That's actually a good point to point out too. There are certain groups of people and certain spectrums of communities and demographics that hate her over the top. And then there are the casual haters, and then there's the whatevers, and then there's the supporters, and there's like the mainstream public who doesn't give an F. Yeah. Mm. Oh, wow. A lot of people saying nope. Nope. All right. Well, yeah. I would consider, to be honest. I would consider. My kid failed in all these other auditions. Nothing left. I went to another small label audition. It was in basement 3 level. It had mold in the practicing room, and the CEO looks like a PDF. Looks very weird, and doesn't look like it looks like it's going to go bankrupt. And the other potential candidates for the idol members don't look very promising. And there's this new opening. I'd be like, yeah. It's like what's an evil company out there? Like an evil global conglomerate. What's the evilest country? What's the most evil company you can think of? Give me some names. This is actually interesting. What are some evil companies in your mind? Like that has very ethically shady businesses. Disney, United Nations, Amazon? Really? Amazon, Disney? Oh wow, you're naming all the big tech. Coca-Cola, Coupang, BlackRock, Nike. You're naming all the big stuff. DuPont. Okay, I'm looking for a name that I can maybe agree to. YouTube, Domino's app. Oh my gosh. I can't. I can't. Anyways, I probably invest in all of these companies, like it or not. My robo investor probably has a big chunk of my portfolio invested in all the companies you named of. But uh Nestle is Secret Harbor. Alibaba. Okay, I don't know. I don't know, guys, but let's go with the less mainstream one, other than like Google, Apple, and the big tech. Okay, someone mentioned BlackRock. Okay, BlackRock is the biggest, like, um, finance managing company in the world, whatever. And okay, let's assume they're evil, and your son wants to be like a hedge fund manager, or like a Wall Street guy or whatever. And all he did for his whole life is, study finances, trade, and he loves that sector. Um, yeah, he got I mean, I guess like all Wall Street companies are evil to some extent if you think about it, but like he got rejected but from like JP Morgan, what else? Like I can't think of any right now. Um wow, why is my head glitching? I see these companies all day long on my stock app. JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, um all these big companies, what right? The Swiss banks, Deutsche Bank, whatever. Uh and yeah, he failed in getting all into all of them. And suddenly you see an application link on LinkedIn and it's BlackRock, the evilest of the evil, Goldman Sachs, yeah. Evil of the evilest. And you personally have a grudge against BlackRock because probably they shorted the shit out of some asset you had, and they maybe confiscated your house, and maybe they caused like triggered a subprime mortgage bubble. It's not historically facts, but like let's say, yeah, you have family history, you have personally have a grudge, but it's still BlackRock, and your kid's jobless right now, and it's still a good company. You know they're evil, and there's a LinkedIn application form right in front of your face. I think it's going to be a hard call. Do you bed with the devil or not? What? Or not? Okay, anyways, I'm just going into the Lululand and hypothetical stuff here. But just saying. Oh, yeah, you know what? They're the richest. Mm hmm. Larry Fink. Mm hmm. All right. So, anyways, that's some food for thought. So wow, we have 320 people. Oh wow, this time is actually gaining a lot of viewers. I'm glad that it is. Just letting you guys know. Oh shit. All right. Yeah, I just realized something. I'm sorry for cursing. I just realized that I didn't press record because I was trying to repurpose this video afterwards and edit it again. All right, but maybe I'll try to do that with the low quality version. But anyways, where was I getting to? Yeah, I'm super glad that there's a lot of people, over 300 people watching in this time. So you know that I've shifted the time zone from usually like 12 hours from now, normally. That was a little bit more European friendly to the US time zones because of my health, primarily because it was messing up with my biological biorhythm. I was getting sleep at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning on a Monday. So imagine that. Um, I got a new radio gig on Monday on Arirang. So yeah, I wanted to have some good sleep and start a fresh new week. So this time is a little bit more friendly for me. So please understand that. But yeah, it's gonna be the recurring time. It's gonna be the regular time from now on. Sundays, 12 p.m. KST, which is probably Saturday, 8 p.m. for Los Angeles people and American people. So, yeah, put your notification bells on. Um, Block your calendars for this time if you want the hottest tea and informative news and cultural deep dives about Korea. And yeah. So, anyways, for the Europeans on the replay gang, hopefully you understand, and yeah, it might be even better for you because I plan to upload these excerpts and uh, individual videos of like each section per live stream, so that you don't have to skim through all the whole 2.5 hour live streams. But that's the plan. I haven't been able to execute it yet because I've been in the States traveling and busy with business. That was what I was about to say. Yeah. Um, Not a DJ on Arirang, but a regular guest on Culture Inc. every Tuesday, 7 p.m. KST. No, every sorry, every Monday, 7 p.m. KST. And also, I just got another note from Arirang TV. So Arirang Radio and TV is different. If anybody's interested, I'll probably on another show called The Culture Something. Yeah, I forgot. I just got the email yesterday. They want me on a show for Tuesday 2 p.m.s, where we'll do more of like a newsroom kind of style thing. So getting busy. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Just doing it for the rep, I guess. Yeah, rep, street cred. It's very important in this line of business as like someone. Um yeah. It's 3:35 p.m. Sunday afternoon here in Australia. I hope that's a good time for you as well too. Thank you, Harleen. Let's check if anybody sent over PayPals. Yeah, I always miss. Oh, sadly, nope today. A lot of people, but nope. Oh, right when we're at it. Anonymous, please. Okay, got session is the best thing, T. Okay, thank you so much. Pizza, $20. Thank you so much for the PayPal. And a lot of people, I no, not a lot of people. A minority in last live stream mentioned in the comments that me doing this pizza ceremony is cringe. I get it. You could see it as cringe. You said like a lot. Someone said like not nobody in the Western field of streaming does like those kind of weird stuff. But this is the Korean Pizza Club, and it's about Korean stuff. And if you come over to the Korean side of streaming, oh wow, you'll be surprised by the amount of like ceremonies people do for getting donations. Yeah, yeah, like especially for those on Africa TV. Yeah, I actually feel sorry for just doing like a simple pizza for $20 because like for $5 on Africa TV, I'm not giving you ideas. I hope you spend those five on mine for the informative and productive content. But you go on that platform, you spend $5, they stand up in sexy clothes and wiggle their butts for you and their boobs for you. So, yeah, maybe it's cringe, but I see it as a middle ground, and it's all right. You do you. Yeah, and there's like over the top streamers too, like in Korea. You give them some money, and they'd be like super hype, like 감사합니다, 감사합니다. Oh, do you know that guy called Oking? He got canceled, but he used to have like the best ceremony ever. Um, he used to have the best ceremony ever for donations. Let me just show you this one and end the stream. So one person donated $1,000 to this guy, like give or take $700 to $800. That's a lot. He does this for even less, but he was super hyped for this occasion. His name is Oking. And this reaction actually was very, very popular. So someone gave him like $700, and it's this guy. So he starts with the little dance over here. Very cute. And then he does his iconic knee dance. Do you know what a knee dance is? Look at this. Oh, okay. Copyright. But there's like a BGM in the back. So he starts like that. Oh, look at that. This is the shit you get for donations on Korean stream. So I might be ripping you off, guys. So pizza is the least cringe stuff you will get. That is a talent over here. Look at the shit he's doing. All right? Look at this. Look at this dance. Like he's very talented. How does he even do that? That's so funny. That's dope. Yeah, right? So there are a lot of like, oh yeah, if you look at Bang PD's favorite girl, um, 돈에, uh, let's see, let's see if she has one. Uh, 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 uh. Okay, this is something from Fruity Seon. All right. Oh, let's go to the most viewed parts, whatever that is. All right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you get this kind of stuff. Yeah, this is on like the less revealing side. It's the YouTube friendly version, all right? So, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, that's the YouTube friendly version, I'm telling you. So, if you think pizza is cringe, you don't know what you're talking about, okay? Well, okay, now I'm going to transition over to the Patreon live stream. So make sure you go to patreon.com/KoreanPizzaClub. Go to this page over here. It's open and public. And once you join, wait for a bit because it takes a little bit of time for me to start the live stream. Like maybe give it 5 minutes. Stop saying, "Oh, is it live? Is it live?" It's gonna be live in a moment if you wait. And once you're there, click on, you see the cursor over here? Yeah. You see the mouse over here? Click on the title of this link and it will take you to the YouTube link where you can chat. So I see a lot of people chatting in this chat. No, that is not the chat you want to be chatting in. I won't be able to see those. So once the stream is up and running, go click on this title and it will relocate you to the YouTube stream and you'll be able to chat over there, okay? Yes, I will take a bathroom break. Yeah. Drop the link. The link is patreon.com/KoreanPizzaClub and sign up as a free member and go to posts and you'll see the most recent post. All right? Easy enough, right? Do you really want me to? Okay. https://www.patreon.com/KoreanPizzaClub. There you go. There it is. And if you want to continue viewing these exclusive live streams for free, make sure you become a paid member so you can catch them anytime, even though you're not watching the real-time streams. This is a perk only for the real-time viewers for the KPC main live streams. All right, so okay, so I'll see y'all over there. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Hopefully today was a good one, and yeah, see you in a bit, in 5 minutes.